Welcome to another episode of Overlanding with Bruce. This is going to be a good one. Before we get started, let me give you some background. Ryan from 4x4 Ventures called me to ask if I'd like to join him on a trip to Zimbabwe. And it so happened that it coincided with a business trip that I had already planned. So after some tense negotiations with my wife, first of all, and then my boss, I was able to take a few extra days and join Ryan on parts of his trip. So my traveling companions consisted of Ryan, who arranged the trip in his Ford Ranger, and then John in his Toyota Fortuner, which he's just finished building. I could not have asked for better traveling companions. Thank you, Ryan, again for the invitation, and thank you for organizing such an amazing trip. Okay, we're about 100 kilometers before Bite Bridge, probably in the region of about 60-70 kilometers before Messina, and it's an absolutely stunning drive. The only problem is there's lots of trucks, so you really have to be careful and take it easy. I just wanted to show my appreciation to everybody for all the support and the subscribers, the people that keep coming back and watching the videos and making comments. I really appreciate all the support, and the good news is we're over 1,000 subscribers, which means we can monetize, or whatever that means, the channel. And I'm not sure exactly what that means yet, but yeah, I'm very happy that the channel's received so much support. It's been absolutely fantastic, and I just wanted to show my appreciation to everybody and thank you all for that support.
It normally retrieves the transaction. Yeah. But it's bad, you know.
Okay, this is Bite Bridge. I'm not really meant to be filming here, but I'm pulling a sneaky just to see if we can catch some of the Limpopo River. Mighty Limpopo. Nice and full. So the border crossing at Bite Bridge was pretty painless. People were absolutely friendly. There's a lot of building going on, so there's a lot of confusion. Officers are all over the place. But I was recommended a guy by the name of Tapiwe that works for Zimbabwe Tourism. And he was absolutely fantastic. He took us to all the right places, and without him we would have probably spent double or triple the amount of time at the border post. So it was pretty painless. But the good news is that they're upgrading everything, and with the upgrades it's probably going to be a lot more efficient and a lot easier to visit if you want to come here on holiday. I mean, we've had nothing but friendliness. The police, they've stopped us twice, I think, or stopped me twice, and nothing but smiles. How are you? Can I come with you? You know, joking around, that sort of thing, and absolutely friendly and really nice to deal with. So if you're thinking about coming to Zimbabwe, so far it's been a pleasurable experience, and I'm really enjoying it so far. There's been no grumpiness, there's no irritation or anything like that. But I mean, if you look out the side, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's just construction happening everywhere. There's clearly a lot of investment happening into Zimbabwe, so it's looking very positive so far. And I've only done about 50 kilometers from the border, so quite exciting times, I think, for Zimbabwe. I mean, I'm sitting at 110 k's an hour, as smooth as silk. It's been cleared away on each side of the road, so you can see for miles. And you know, there are animals roaming around, but at least you can see them and you can slow down plenty of time. But how amazing is this? This is probably about 60-70 k's away from Beitbridge border post. Across the road from the Lion and Elephant, we noticed a little track that went down to the Booby River. Unfortunately, it's very dry at the moment, but we went and had a look nonetheless. There was quite a large pond where locals were actually fishing out of it, catching fish, believe it or not. I was quite surprised at that. But then we decided to go across to Lion and Elephant and have something for lunch. I think anyone that has ever travelled probably in the last 30 or 40 years through Beitbridge towards Harare knows the Lion and Elephant. It's only about 80 kilometres north of Beitbridge, and a lot of people use that as a first night stopover before they carry on to either Gonorozo or to Harare. I had a bit of a rattle coming from the roof rack, so we stopped at the total garage just before the Rundi River just to check what it was. And it turned out that I hadn't adjusted the jerry can bracket correctly. I had put it onto the wrong size for the jerry cans that are on there. And once I'd filled up the jerry cans, they started to rattle because of the weight. Hey?
Tell us, what's the trip meant for you, Bruce?
No, it's been awesome. It's been a little bit of a trip down memory lane, and I'm actually quite surprised at how good the roads are. Look, there's some bad sections that they're working on, but generally all the kids are waving, people are waving at us. Things are looking a little bit run down, but still a pleasant surprise, I think. But the bush is absolutely beautiful, and these granite koppies are actually stunning. So it's really a nice drive.
Do you think we're going to make it to Antelope? What time we get into Antelope Park?
I think we get there about 6:30. Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit late, and it's been a long day, but it's been fun.
Absolutely beautiful, stunning, man. It's like it feels like a moving painting. You know what I mean? Is that an exaggeration?
Actually, that's a very nice way to describe it. Moving painting. That's brilliant. Yeah, it's spectacular. Eh? I mean, you don't see this very often. I mean, it's just people have got to come see this. They've got to come travel in Zimbabwe. I mean, how stunning has it been? Once everybody's smiling, everybody's happy, everybody's waving and greeting us. I mean, it's like we flipping movie stars or something here. You know, there's just so much happiness and positivity, it feels.
Yeah, well said, man. Well said. People need to come here. Why would you not?
John, this is your first visit across the border here to Zimbabwe. What do you think, Bert?
Pleasantly surprised. Was expecting way more top stops and politics and whatnot, but this is another touch of heaven. It's really a touch of heaven.
So yeah, I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere, and this is the crew, and we're driving in Convoy. It's been pretty amazing. I think that this road up to now, we've had really great roads, but the last sort of hour has been terrible. So we've got about 90 k's to go on this road before reaching our destination. It's almost sunset, and getting a little bit nervous, but let's hope that we get there pretty soon. We've had accidents before. Let's try not to have them again on this trip.
So after a very long day in the saddle yesterday of about 16 hours on some brilliant roads and some quite bad roads, we arrived just a little bit south of Gweru, about 14 kilometers south, at a park called Antelope Park. And it's very pleasant. I mean, it's been a really nice day. It got really cold last night, and the shower this morning was cold, but it's one way to get the blood flowing and wake you up. Good morning, ladies. How's everyone today?
Very well.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a wonderful place.
You're welcome. It was nice talking to you.
Okay, so I've just left Antelope Park in Gweru. Very nice place to stop, and highly recommend them. Nothing but friendly staff. Really beautiful spot. The campsite's right next to this dam. It's very picturesque. So now on my way to Kwekwe and then Mana Pools. Road conditions are much better than they were late yesterday afternoon, and I'm sitting at 120 km an hour, which is the speed limit, and quite happily sailing along and enjoying the drive. I mean, it's really surprising. This country is absolutely stunning, and I probably said this a lot, but you all need to drive here. You all need to come and visit this place because it's absolutely beautiful. Anyway, let me concentrate on the road and keep going. Okay, so this is Kwekwe. Quite an old town. I don't know how this compares to what it looked like in the past, but there seems to be everything here. There's banks, obviously. Petrol's readily available.
Okay, so next stop, Convoy.
I'm no history expert, but I found out some very interesting things about these plains in Chugutu. Chugutu was formerly known as Hartley. Anyway, back in 1997, somebody had the idea of building a restaurant here called the Flying Pot, and these aeroplanes were meant to attract people to stop there. In the background of this, you can actually see the derelict building that's actually burned down. I dug a little deeper and found out more about the aeroplanes. This CN436, for example, was the last Viscount to be built at the Herne assembly plant in southern England. It was sold to the Iranian government in 1961, and in 1965 the Australian Air Force, who had purchased it in 64, used it to transport Her Majesty the Queen Mother during the Royal Australian Tour. Skip a few years, and then in 1971 the Sultan of Oman Air Force purchased the aeroplane, and then in 78 it was sold to the Royal Swazi Airlines. In 79 it was taken back to London and used by Dan Air, and returned to Air Bridge Carriers Limited in 1980, who then sold it on to Air Zimbabwe, where it remained in service till November of 1990, where it was then retired. In June of 1996, it was reported and noted as derelict condition, and it was dismantled and sent to Chugutu in 1997. Now CN446, it had its first flight in 1961, where it was delivered to Ghana Airways, where it remained in service up until May 1975, where it was then leased by Mandala Airlines in Indonesia. In 77, the British Airways leased it back for Midlands Airways, and after switching hands a few more times, in May of 81, it was sold to Air Zimbabwe, who used it up until December of 90, where it was then retired. In June 1996, it was noted as derelict condition, and it was then dismantled and sent to Chugutu in March of 1997, where they both remain up until today. Just one disclaimer, excuse the poor quality. All the pictures are actual pictures of both planes during their service history. I've downloaded them off the internet, and hence the bad quality. What struck me about all the towns we went through is how clean it was and how little litter there is. That's something that Zimbabwe should be proud of, because in Botswana and South Africa, litter is a massive problem. You pretty much buy a lot of different things on the side of the road. Lots of people selling sweet oranges. I see a garage on the left about 200 meters in front of me.
Yeah, fantastic, man, fantastic.
But it's burnt down.
Scratch that, scratch that.
And now I'm checking. Petro Moat X score, something like that. I'm going to just take a chance. Nothing we can do. Okay, and we're in Convoy at the moment. I don't recognize this place at all. There's a tower that people might remember. I don't know how old and new that is. Convoy police station. Okay, so we got 97 kilometers to go until the Mana Pools National Park gate. Not far, it's running a little, we're running a little bit late. The traffic's been pretty hectic. There was a truck accident and all sorts of things. But we're almost there. Quite excited to get to Mana Pools, to be honest. Driving down the hill of the Zambezi escarpment, and with all these trucks, all you can smell is burning brakes. Obviously they're fully loaded vehicles going down this quite a steep hill, taking a bit of strain here. So fortunately we only got 3 kilometers left to go, so then we can be off this main road, which is going to be great. Can't wait. But there is the Zambezi Valley. I hope you can see me. I've never filmed at night, so I'm experimenting here, but we're finally in Mana Pools National Park and it feels amazing. The road's a bit corrugated, but the bridges have been fixed and we're on our way to Chitake. Apparently there's a pride of lions there at the moment that is like 22 strong. It's a very big pride. Sorry, I'm just slowing down for some nightjars here. But yeah, awesome to be here. We're setting up in the dark again. We took it a bit easy because of the traffic and some of the bad roads. But it's all worthwhile. The park is looking so green and so spectacular, as to be expected. Okay, we're still looking for our campsite. We're staying at Chitake number 2. This is absolutely amazing. It's such a privilege to be driving around Mana Pools National Park like this, and we're doing it legally. Hey? They allowed us to come in like this and come in late. You know, you wouldn't normally go on a game drive at this time of night because I don't think that's legal, but because we arrived late and it got dark quickly, they fully allowed us to come through, which is absolutely awesome. Yeah, so lucky to be traveling like this. It's thick bush, and our only concern at the moment now is whether we're going to find wood. Unfortunately, we haven't found any wood so far, so we'll have to wait and see. Okay, we've come to quite a big river crossing. It's apparently quite a drop off the bank, and lots of sand, so we're just checking that out before we just go right ahead and drive. But we're basically camping in Chitake 2, which we're trying to find now. So we're not doing anything illegal. This is what you experience in this place. It's absolutely fantastic, and I actually am running out of words to say because I'm loving every single second of this. So I hope you guys enjoy it too, and come visit this place. It's amazing.
That was actually quite scary, eh?
Here we're going through the river crossing. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not quite sure what to expect. Oh, it's not so bad.
That was flippin' scary, bro. Yeah, no, I was quite concerned with whatever made a really weird sound in the bush.
So you would have seen me talk about our stadium lights. We've got one up there above the landy, and then Ryan and John have got one above their vehicle. I'm hoping you guys get all of this, and they're shining into the sort of shadows around the vehicles. The guys are actually just getting ready in case we have to jump into our beds. My hands have been washed and sanitized.
Bruce, what do you think's going on, man?
I'm glad that Jono's sitting next to the river, because I think they're going to come over the dry riverbed and they'll take him first, and I am really convinced that I can run faster than you, Ryan.
How far do you think those lines are?
I would say within a kilometer.
And how many prides?
There's actually, I think it's one pride, but I think they're actually on the hunt, and there's one sort of at my 12 o'clock, another one at 10, and then another one probably at 7 o'clock. So I think they're really prowling and on the hunt, which is a bit nerve-wracking.
What's the escape plan?
As quick as possible into the rooftop tent, and make sure that you're quicker than Ryan and John. But isn't it awesome to be out here? So here's exactly why you don't bury your rubbish on the bank of a river, or anywhere else for that matter. That rubbish is obviously being buried probably 2 foot, 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters underground, and it's still here. Who knows how long it's been here. But you had space to bring it in, so then you got space to take it out. Don't bury your rubbish in places like this, because it takes years and years and years to decompose, if it ever will.
So tonight's my night. I'm doing a simple steak, fried, not grilled, and we've got a really magic Caesar salad or Greek salad, and just simple. Sometimes at nights when you've got lions going off in the background, you just need to keep it simple. You know, I tell you, there's nothing quite like sitting in a wild campsite, not hearing anything other than the night sounds of crickets and all of that stuff, and then you get quite complacent, conversation starts happening, and then out of nowhere you hear a lion, and it literally sounds, I don't know, maybe 800 meters, and it's not just one pride, there's 3. And the strange thing is that when we came in, the guy at the gate and at the Zim Park's entry gate right at the top on the escarpment, he studies these lions, and he recently did a study on their behavioral and movement patterns, and has advised us that at the moment, currently, there are 22 lions. He called it a super pride. 22 lions in the Chitake area. And when you've got 3 different sets of roars going off around campsite, man, I don't know how you feel, Bruce, and I know you're a big fella, but my man, it gets the blood going, eh? Sure. But I tell you, hey, what an adventure, sitting at a nice campfire here in the wild, really, literally the wild, right next to the Chitake River. We had elephant move past up and down today, 30 meters from us. Jono's second time being on an overlanding trip, proper. He's never experienced anything quite like this. And obviously being with Bruce, man, what an adventure, and with good mates. So yeah, man, I'm really enjoying it, dude. I hope you are, and all of you out there in YouTube land. Man, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and watch old Bruce and follow what he's up to, because I tell you what, it's something really special. So yeah, I'm loving it, my man, and I hope you are too.
Thanks so much, mate. It's actually awesome that you invited me on these few days with you and John, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be traveling with you guys, and an awesome experience.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I really appreciate that, and I sort of want to tell everyone out there that if you ever get an opportunity to travel with these fellas, do it. It's been really eye-opening, and it's been an absolute fantastic adventure. So this is Jono over here.
Hey guys.
So Jono, tell me, this is your second time experiencing something like this?
Yeah,
Sorry, I caught you unaware, but that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean it's absolutely
Sorry, excuse
amazing.
my lighting here. I'm using a head torch, and I don't want to shine it in Jono's face because that's irritating. But anyway, excuse the lighting, everybody.
No, it's been absolutely phenomenal. What's been more important is meeting mates out here and bonding. I think I met Bruce a week ago, and it almost feels like we've been friends for years.
Absolutely.
I think the important thing is, can't believe how nostalgic he is coming back here after about 20 or 30 years, and getting a history and rundown from him has been an absolute education for me. Learning from this really experienced Overlander has really made a huge difference. I mean, today he sorted out my solar panels, helped me put up my shower tent. It was a fast frame Austrail, which I'm really impressed with. And just, he's sipping a Captain, I'm sipping some whiskey here. It's been absolutely phenomenal, but I can tell you, the adrenaline is flowing at the moment. The fear is real. It almost feels like the same fear that we had with COVID, because you can't see it, but you can definitely know that it's there. Here it's a little bit more real because you can actually feel them roaring and reverberating through our souls a little bit, but we might have to have an early night tonight, and yeah, looking forward to the rest of the trip with you guys.
Thanks, John. Thanks so much for allowing me to join you too.
I just have to say one more thing before you go. The problem here is that if they're going to bite anybody tonight, and they're going to take anybody, it's going to be me. Because they don't bite bad meat like Ryan. 100%, dude. I'm okay with that, my man. I'm okay with that.
As it was our last night at Chitake, we decided to pack up early and go and look for those lions.
So awesome to be crossing the Chitake River. Absolutely fantastic. And now it's old Bruce. Bruce, don't get stuck, eh? Second obstacle of the day done, and I seem to be cameraman. But I tell you what, filming in the wild, gee whiskers, you know, you are allowed to at Mana Pools get out of your car, you are allowed to walk around, you are allowed to walk into the bush, and I suppose that's one of the great things with Zimbabwe and Mana Pools. It's what they call a walker's preferred national park. I'll tell you what though, the sun is coming up and it's next level.
Okay, so you can see we're doing a little bit of bush bashing here. There is a track and it is on the map, so we're not doing anything wrong. We're actually just following this track just to see. It's quite close to our campsite. But it's absolutely awesome to be in this place. I mean, it's just real rough and tough Africa. And we've heard lions basically the last 2 nights non-stop. So this is one of the reasons why we're going in this direction, because we kind of think that the lions are in this direction. So having an absolute adventure. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of bush rash on the landy, but that's what it's for. So you've got to deal with that. That's what life is about. You know, if you want to go in the bush, you must expect a few scratches here and there. This little track that we found has actually taken us to Chitake 2, believe it or not, which is the campsite we should have been in. So I think we actually had the better campsite, but if you want a real wild campsite, come and take Chitake 2. There's a long drop toilet that you can see on that side. And yeah, we're doing a little bit of bush bashing, but there is a track here, as you can see, that we cleared. And there's a tree that you could camp under. There's some vultures over there. I hope you can see it. So there's obviously a kill. We actually heard lion here yesterday in this direction. Really rough. I'm actually glad we stayed at the other campsite, to be honest, because you can't really see further than 50 meters. Ryan, John, what do you guys think of this campsite? I think the other one was better, eh?
Look, I think as far as looks go, being on the Chitake River is kind of exactly what you want and where you want to be. Campsite 1 and 3, for sure. Campsite 2, you're nowhere near the river. But I tell you what, this is where the lions were roaring. And I think there might be a kill over there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with Ryan. I think aesthetics, Chitake 1 and 3, really nice. But 1 is probably the best where we were at. But if you want to be in the raw bush, smell it, feel it, I mean, there's nothing around you. And this is the place to be. I think this is where the danger is real.
One thing for sure is I don't think many people have been to that campsite. Of course, you have to drive through. It's a little bit overgrown, and you can hear the scratching and the scraping, but it's fine. It's not, they're not too hectic, so it will scrape, it will polish out. After following the vultures while driving on some very overgrown tracks, we found them. So we've just left Chitake. We're on our way to Minor Pools now. We came across a pride of lions, probably 15 to 20 lions across the Chitake Springs, where the water actually for the Chitake River originates from, I think. But 15 to 20 lions, they'd clearly just eaten because there were vultures flying around, and unfortunately I didn't get much of them because a lot of them sort of went behind a little bit of a koppie antelope type thing. Yeah, so it was quite a great sighting. We had heard them all night and we had suspected they'd been hunting, so clearly they'd been hunting. Right now we're trying to find our way back to the main road, and so far it's been great. The temperature right now is 41 degrees, really warm, and it's dry heat. There's not even a breeze, so I'm hoping that when we get to the Zambezi River it's going to be a little bit cooler. The next episode, Ryan attempts to scare some baboons. We do many dry river crossings. We drive some amazing tracks through Minor Pools. We run around setting up and fetching cameras. Gets a lot of exercise in. And then we set up camp on the Zambezi, an amazing campsite. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'd like to thank Ryan and John for the extra footage they provided me to make this episode possible. Until the next one, take care.